Ed Broadbent Waterfront Park. The city of Oshawa is situated on treaty land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and is a present-day home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. The city acknowledges that we gather on the traditional territories of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation. The city of Oshawa's newest addition to the waterfront park system has been named to recognize political icon Ed Broadbent and his many contributions to public service, Canada as a whole, and in particular to the residents, workers, and businesses of Oshawa. Mr. Broadbent was born and raised in Oshawa. He was elected to Parliament as the NDP member for Oshawa in 1968, where he served as the MP until 1989. From 1975 to 1989, he was also the leader of the New Democrat Party. Designed as a passive recreational space, plans for the Ed Broadbent Waterfront Park include a human rights garden, a reflection of Mr. Broadbent's standing as a champion and advocate for human rights. The Ed Broadbent Waterfront Park, located in South Oshawa, is approximately 14 hectares in size, almost 35 acres. It is bounded on the west by Simcoe Street South, Harbour Road to the north, Montgomery Creek to the east, and Oshawa Harbour to the south. Oshawa Creek enters the property from the west, under the Simcoe Street Road Bridge, and discharges into Oshawa Harbour and Lake Ontario. Surrounding land uses include various industrial sites, the Port of Oshawa, low-density residential neighborhoods, parks, and natural areas. Lakeview Park is located to the southwest of the site. The Ed Broadbent Waterfront Park is divided into two distinct halves. The eastern half of the project site is the former Marina. Many of the Marina's facilities have been removed completely. However, remnants of the infrastructure are still present, including the original boat launch and a paved access road. These elements and the various types of shoreline treatment, many hardened, are in varying states of repair. Redevelopment of the eastern half of the project will require an extensive and lengthy approval process and will include an environmental assessment for any shoreline rehabilitation. As such, the eastern half of Ed Broadbent Waterfront Park will be developed as a future phase. Phase 1 of the Ed Broadbent Waterfront Park redevelops the western half of the site. North of the creek is currently open field with rolling topography, generally sloping towards the harbour. On the south side of the creek, the terrain has been flattened out by recent remediation efforts. Vegetation on site consists of deciduous street trees along Simcoe and Harbour, and a linear woodlot that divides the eastern and western halves of the park property. The area is split in two by the Oshawa Creek. The Larry Ladd Harbour Trail runs through the site, and a pedestrian bridge over Oshawa Creek, the Larry Ladd Bridge, links the parkland on both sides of the watercourse. A large gravel parking lot bordered by rocks has been constructed. Pedestrian and vehicular entrances to the site are basic and understated. There is an approximately 1.5 meter high concrete seawall along the eastern edge of the parking lot. A course of armor stone has been placed along the top of the wall. Below the wall, the dynamic mouth of the creek has deposited bed material forming a sandbar. The site was home to historical industrial uses which resulted in poor soil conditions along portions of the property. Since acquisition of the lands, the city has undertaken environmental remediation efforts to ensure the site meets the federal requirements for passive recreational use. These works involved installing clean soil and gravel caps. The caps must remain intact, presenting limitations on the type and extent of development that can occur in the sections of the property shown in pink. Limitations will also be placed on the type and extent of development within the floodplain. The Ed Broadbent Waterfront Park will be a passive recreation destination with walking paths, shade pavilion, open fields, and formal gardens. The following design elements are proposed north of the Oshawa Creek. A large shade pavilion that will double as a bandstand. This feature will be equipped with electrical service allowing it to be used for events or concerts. An open green of manicured lawn to accommodate informal sports and large gatherings. Rock outcrops, or irregularly shaped concrete or stone terraces and platforms resembling limestone ledges. An elevated wood deck lookout, presenting park users with views of the pavilion and the lake in the distance. rows of stone walls separated by strips of turf to form stadium-style seating or lounging areas. The Ed Broadbent Park will also be the site of Oshawa's Garden of Human Rights / Peace Garden. Such gardens are contemplated places that have integrated unique landscape garden and educational features to explore specialized themes and/or civic issues. The proposed garden area is shown here in violet at a very high level conceptual form. The Larry Ladd Harbour Trail will be realigned and paved to improve accessibility on site and to include connections to the corner of Simcoe and Harbour and to the Oshawa Creek bike path system. Smaller limestone screen trails will also be established for quieter pedestrian strolls. A new park sign, complete with shrub beds, is proposed for the corner of Harbour Road and Simcoe Street South. A new park sign will be constructed at the Oshawa Creek bike path entrance. Parallel parking spots will be added to Harbour Road and Simcoe Street South. Although not shown on the current plans, site furnishings including benches, picnic tables, trash recycling cans, and bike racks will be incorporated as the design progresses. Deciduous trees to provide shade and coniferous tree groupings to control views will also be planted as part of the project. To improve the environmental condition of the site, mass plantings of native shrubs are planned, as well as riparian vegetation planting along the banks of Oshawa Creek. South of the Oshawa Creek, a new paved parking lot will be constructed in the location of the existing gravel parking lot. An interpretive node will be created on the south side of the pedestrian bridge. Pedestrian vehicular entrances to the site will be improved, and a new park sign will be constructed between the entrances. The existing chain link fence along the southern boundary will be replaced with a privacy fence to help mitigate noise. Site furnishings, including benches, picnic tables, trash and recycling cans, and bike racks, will be incorporated as the design progresses. Due to the extensive capping in this portion of the site, proposed planting will be limited to the restoration of riparian vegetation along the banks of the Oshawa Creek. Shoreline and creek improvements will be undertaken as part of a future phase due to the approvals required. The following photos and images are representative of the proposed design elements for the Ed Broadbent Waterfront Park. New park entry signs. New paved parking lot. Examples of shade pavilions. Wooden deck / lookout. Open field. Rock outcrops. Armor stone ledge seating. Restoration of riparian vegetation before and after. Proposed asphalt walkway. Proposed limestone screen trail. Next steps. Over the next few months, the plans will be advanced through detailed design drawings and eventually into full construction and tender documents. The process of gaining approvals and permits from the various relevant agencies and governing bodies will be ongoing as the design work progresses. Construction will start in the spring of 2022 and is anticipated to be complete and open to the public by the end of the year. Thank you for viewing this PowerPoint presentation on the proposed development of the Ed Broadbent Waterfront Park. Should you have any questions or concerns, please direct them to the contact information shown below.